Okay. Well, first of all, let me show off my jacket. Pretty nice fit. I'm feeling myself. I ain't gonna front. You know, if I feel myself, I feel myself. So, okay, this video, I'm just gonna talk about this one because, you know, still relates. You know, it's way of LJ, and one of the things that people, you know, note about me is having a positive mental attitude, right? PMA, and then all the stuff that I'm gonna talk about in this video. Kind of overlaps with a lot of the things I've said in previous vlogs. So some of the things kind of, you know, intertwine and might sound like a repeat or anything, but it's, you know, it's part of what helps me, you know, get this PMA, right? So I think, you know, when I reflected on like how am I able to get a PMA? You know, how do people keep a positive mental attitude, right? And so I broke it down to three key things. The first one being living with less regrets. Second one is not being so hard on yourself. And the third one, which is probably the big one, it encapsulates everything, is having a strong emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence. I kind of slurred that word. But EQ, right? Not equalizer. You guys know your audio stuff. You know, it's one thing to know about IQ, right, and measuring someone's intelligence, but I think emotional intelligence is probably like one of the things that people overlook, right? So I'll just go in order. So here we go. Living with less regrets, right? So how do you have less regrets? It's when you start to do things based on what your heart can get behind, and that's never taking action on something that you are not ready to face the consequence of, right? So as long as you acknowledge the good and the bad of something and you're prepared for that, then you'll take actions without having a regret. You know, if you're not ready for any of the negative circumstances that happen with your actions, then you shouldn't, you know, you're not going to do it, right? You're going to have a regret if it happens because you weren't prepared for it, you weren't ready, your mind wasn't there. And, you know, one of the things that I think this includes is just being honest with yourself, and in turn being honest with other people. Because if you're not honest with yourself, then you're living with a lie, you know? You're living with this ongoing lie within yourself, and you put on a mask that you show other people, and that's all they're going to see. With this mask, people aren't going to know how you truly feel, right? They just see this outer appearance. Your actions don't align with your words, and so you end up regretting, right? So it's just ongoing. It's just like a monkey hanging over your head all the time. You make it harder for other people to understand who you are, right? So you're not making it easier for yourself, and you're not making it easy for the other person. How can somebody help you when they don't know that you need help? Connections that you form with other people are going to be less genuine. The better you become at doing things you can fully get behind, the more honest your intentions become. Because then you're not afraid of showing your true feelings, and then you accept your feelings, and you have better confidence within yourself and acknowledgement in yourself and who you are and what you stand for. I know some people try to force emotions or feelings in themselves just because it's a positive thing, right? Oh, I'm gonna be happy, right? Or I'm gonna try to be happy. You can't just choose your emotions, right? You can't fake being happy when you're not. Because if you fake these emotions, you're just adding to your regrets. You know, you're setting yourself up. So that's the first one. You have to live with less regrets, and every action you do you have to be prepared for the consequences. Second one is not being hard on yourself. So first you have to understand what you're capable of doing and not doing. You have to identify your strengths, your weaknesses, fully understanding what you can and cannot do, right? The reason why this is important is because when you do something and you don't succeed, you know that it's okay to fail, right? Everyone's a human being, right? We're not perfect. It's human nature, we're all flawed. So you acknowledge that it's okay. It's okay to fail. It's okay to lose. And then you also don't compare yourself to other people for the qualities that you do not possess yourself. You look at the highlights of another person as something inspired, right? You want to gain it from them. So you want to try to understand that person. You want to see how that person thinks or feels, how they react to certain things. Look up to somebody that's more wiser than you. See how they go about it. Apply it to yourself. Learn from it. You're able to pick yourself up on your own feet and assess a situation. Look for any way to do better. You're more accepting of who you are. And then there's always room for improvement, because there is, right? Don't be so hard on yourself. Why? Why be hard on yourself? And then by acknowledging what you're capable of doing and not doing, you're going to have a lot, and I mean a lot of self-confidence, because you know what you can do. You can get behind the things that you do, and you're not afraid to show it. You also understand more of what's going on in life and how to react towards it, and that leads to emotional intelligence. And so emotional intelligence, if you guys don't know, it's like the ability to be in tune with your emotions, control them, with what goes on in life around you. Anything that happens in life, you know how to react the right way. You know how to handle situations. By having good emotional intelligence, you are able to handle social interactions better, professional interactions, personal. There's so many things going on, right? Learning how to deal with other people, learning how to deal with problems with other people, social awareness. You also can easily sympathize and empathize with other people. And then with this, you're also able to be more patient, strong-willed. Oh my God. Okay. You're able to be more patient, strong-willed, sociable, consistent. That's a key one. Consistency, right? A lot of people fail to find consistency in life. You're able to be more considerate with people, assertive, right? Take action when needed. And the list just goes on. Being consistent is probably, again, the biggest one. Who the You also have a very strong ability to adapt to any situation that goes on with you in life. I feel like a lot of people focus so much on the IQ levels of somebody, how book smart you are. But what's overlooked is EQ, your emotional intelligence. And I think that's what separates people that stand out in life and those that don't. Because you can be the smartest person in class, you can get the great, straight A's on your tests and all. But what if you never had the confidence to raise your hand, right? Take the initiative. Then how can people know? How can you have people be inspired by how smart you are if you just hide? How's anybody able to know what you're capable of, right? If you don't show what you're capable of. If you keep hiding yourself, what more can somebody see about you when a lot of who you are is hidden? You're afraid. You fear rejection, fear being denied, fear of not being accepted. And I feel like, if you make relationships hiding who you are, then a lot of things are just artificial. You're kind of making relationships with people based on what you think they want to see out of you. So there's like less genuinity is, if that's a word, genuine. It's like a less genuine connection that you make with people. Taking all these three things together, you become somebody that understands their place in this world. You live with less guilt, regrets, doubt, fear, and then you allow more joy, peace, harmony, passion within yourself. And then, as I said before in like many previous vlogs, I've always said that, the moment you start looking at the silver linings of any negative situation and turn them into positive ones, then there's less things to fear. And I know some people are like, what if I just start saying positive things in my mind, right? What if I just said like, oh, I gotta keep a positive mental attitude, PMA, I gotta say positive things about myself. You can't just speak it into existence. It's not that easy, all right? Like, this is something that, again, I've experienced throughout my life, all 26 years of my life. This is something you just gain from your experience with life. You can't just speak it. It's just like anybody that, you can't just wake up and choose what mood you want, like your clothes. You can't just go, oh, today I'm gonna be happy, right? Like, you can't just choose that. People are depressed for a reason. They don't choose to be depressed. You don't, your moods, it's something that's like fully within and developed within yourself. You can't just choose it. All right? You don't choose to be happy. So if you can't choose to be happy, then how do you be happy? It's based on all the things that I've just said. Don't force a positive mental attitude within yourself when it's hard for you to see anything positive about yourself. If there's a lot of things in yourself that you do not like, you think of yourself in a more negative way, how can you be positive? You can't just do that, You can't just go, oh, there it is, let me go grab it. Oh, wow, positive mental attitude. Woo. You can't just grab it. You can't just speak it again into existence. Oh, PMA. Oh, there it is. Oh, let me go grab it. You can't do that. It's all developed within, based on your reactions, based on how you react to the things in your world around you, based on how much you control your feelings, your emotions, based on how honest you are, less regrets. And just not being so hard on yourself, understanding who you are, and that, again, we're all flawed, we all fail, we all make mistakes. That's life. Again, if you look at life's mishaps as lessons, as ways of looking into more opportunity in a more positive light, then you're able to better react to things. And you're prepared for it. I think that's the key thing. And so your character becomes more consistent. Something happens to me, like I said in my last vlog, something negative happens to me, I'm easily going to go through it. I've gone through so many things, especially in the past year, so many things that were just sad. A lot of people say, oh my God, it's so sad, LJ, that, it sounds so depressing when you say you can't smell and taste, right? Like, I'm drinking this yogurt green tea from T4, one of my favorite drinks. Tastes like Yakult or Calpico, which I love. But, I'm just making the best of it. I imagine what it tastes like. I know what it tastes like. But, you just got to make the best of any situation, right? So, if I can't smell and taste, I eat more healthier. I eat less. I'm less likely to overeat because there's no flavor to enjoy, right? Sometimes you overeat things because food tastes good, so you want to eat more. You know, it stimulates your mind and everything, and it's all a happy emotion. But I don't get that anymore. I just eat to satisfy hunger. Or I have to imagine how flavors taste, how things smell. Right? One of the best smells in the world is going to the mall and passing by Cinnabon. Oh my gosh. Man. Make sure you don't take shortcuts in life. That goes with this. Trying to gain a high emotional intelligence, trying to gain a positive mental attitude. Don't take shortcuts. When you take shortcuts on anything in life, I feel like you appreciate things less because you didn't put the time into it, the work ethic. You don't know what went behind the whole journey, right? Like I say, you know, the Emerson quote is, life's about the journey, not the destination, right? So if you take shortcuts, you skip the entire journey. You don't know how hard it was to get there. Why do you think people climb Mount Everest instead of just flying to the top? I mean, of course, you know, they can't fly to the top because, you know, they have to get their bodies adjusted to the levels of, you know, less oxygen and all that stuff. But people do things and they take the hard route. They want a challenge. It makes it more satisfying, you know? Well, like, if you play a game, you put in the cheat codes. I mean, back when cheat codes were a thing, of being, you know, invincible, right? God mode. And you're indestructible. You're just going around doing whatever you want. I know you did that a lot in GTA games. I used to do that a lot. You just mess around and stuff. But, you know, the fun is just going to go away so quick since there's no challenge. And that's the reason why. People love challenges. Don't be afraid to take challenges. And, you know, the more something is harder and the more you want to, you know, obtain that goal, reach that goal, the more time you spend on it, right? And time being the greatest luxury, you know how much more valuable it was because you spent time on it. I think that's the biggest one. When it comes to the journey, you invested time on it. If you just skip to the destination just like that, no time was invested. And so you have less value in the results. Always remember, the motto is anything is possible.